initial consultation or modeling it for you. The, this is also going to be a one-person show, so bear with me. I'm going to have some pauses. Somebody's talking back to me, and I'll respond to those things. But the most important thing is having the initial consultation. Industry standards show that 85% of people that sit down with and work with that agent, the first one that they sit down with, the face to face. So it's super critical because it's your opportunity to gain their trust. So you don't overcomplicate it, don't overthink it. You'll see that it's just kind of a flow. The icebreaker in the beginning, I'm going to go real short on it, but you take it as you're a conversationalist. You should be. You're in sales and such. So this part is just be natural, get to know them a little, ask some things. So again, I'm going to blow through it and I'm going to go right to the booklet that we have that you can get on our agent resources. So here we go. Hey, John. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to sit down and meet with you. I've got some things for you today. Mostly, we're just here to make sure that you and I are right for each other. I'm going to tell you multiple times through here, I really want you to work with the agent that you trust. And I personally also only work with agents that are clients that I trust because it doesn't really work. It's a very complicated transaction that we're going to be walking through, and trust is the number one factor. So if you don't mind, you know what? I'm going to tell you right off the bat. There's going to be some documents that are in this packet that we're going to sign. The buyer representation agreement, as we get to it, I'm going to go into detail of what it means and explain it all. But the reality is, in order for me to represent you, I have to have this. So we got to sign it. But if you think that I'm the right person for you, that is. But if you at any point decide that I'm not the right person for you, just let me know. And I promise you, I'll tear it up. I will rip it up because I only want people that to work with me if they trust me, because otherwise it's not going to be a great experience for either of us. But I also promise you, in the same light, that if at any point in the transaction I find out that I'm not the right person for you, I promise you I'll do the same. I'll let you know, and I'll even refer you to another agent. I just really feel that strongly that we should only work with each other if you trust each other. So here we go. So this little packet here, it's really cool. I have the 10-step buyer process on one side and the 10-step listing process for in the future when you decide to sell this home with me. You'll already have this, but let's start with the buyer process because that's what we're here for. So in Genovations Realty, we have a 10-step buyer process, and we offer real estate services to meet your needs. So step one here, as you can see, is find a good agent. That's what you're doing right now. We're sitting down, we're making sure that we're a good fit for each other because not everybody's made for each other. But I hope that we find that we are, because I really love to help people. So if you can buy a house, but it also tells us the price range we should be in, because they'll give you an idea of what you're going to pay in payments. And even though you might be able to afford a $700,000 house, you might not want one that's more than five, right? That's just, there's a lot of factors, and that's a lender's part to give you how much it's going to be and whatnot because of all the factors that are included. But I've got a great lender for you. I'm going to send it to you via text, and I'm going to connect you with them personally. I'll give them a call and let them talk to you or give you a call as well so that you guys don't miss each other. Wonderful. Step 3, create a search criteria. Remember, we don't set up a search criteria until you're pre-approved because there's no point. I don't want you to look at a $700,000 house and then only be able to afford a 500. I'll never be able to sell you a house. You'll be in dream world and your expectations will not be able to be fulfilled. And I wouldn't do that to you. So that's why step 2 is so important. But step 3, I will set up a search for you in RealTrax, the MLS system that all realtors use to enter all their listings. And you will be the first to know that that listing hits. It'll be before Zillow, before Realtor.com get a piece of it. It'll hit your mailbox immediately as soon as within 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes, it cycles through and grabs all the new listings and it emails it to anybody that's set up in the criteria. So we'll get a nice criteria set that you're looking for, and you're going to get instant notifications. And I'm going to look at all of them too. If I see something that I really think's yours, I'll even text you or give you a call and make sure that you see it. Cool? Awesome. And then we're on the hunt. We're going to go find a home. This is step 4. And again, using MLS and all the industry's most advanced tools, we will help you find the house of your dreams. Everything you need. That's my goal. Step 5 is we found the house and now we need to negotiate it. We need to submit an offer, right? So step 5 is just I will not just submit an offer. I'm going to make sure that I do some comps, make sure that the price matches the neighborhood or the area, and that we're in line with all the things that we need to do. And then the next step 6 is negotiating the price. This is the part, and I really love this part personally. I get to go back to my old football years, throw on the football helmet, and get real competitive. Now, there's a rule that both parties have to come to a mutual agreement. So I learned early in my career not to really take somebody out and go for blood, because we're going to be in bed for about 30 to 45 days after we negotiate this price. If we take blood from them now, they're going to get it back later. So that's just a thing to keep in mind, that this is a mutual agreement that two parties are coming to. But with that said, I still like to win. But once we get under contract, which is going to be step 7, well, step 6 still, we will actually have you start working with a transaction coordinator. I have the best transaction coordinator, and called Smooth TC actually, and we're going to ship you over to them, and they'll start processing all your documents, making sure that everything, all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, and that we actually are on time for any appointments or all those things. They set it all up. So they take all my admin work. It's something that I pay for personally for you. And they take all my admin work and they move it out, get us to closing. So that is a fantastic service that I love for you. Step 7, trust and earnest money. You know, there's 2 ways of saying it. It's either trust money or earnest money. What this is, down payment, usually around 1% of the transaction. So for a $300,000 house, you're going to be at $3,000. You'll put that down. It does come back to you in the end, as long as we remain in contract and don't break it illegally. There are multiple points in the contract that you can break it legally and you will get your money back. But if you're 2 days before closing and you decide that you just have cold feet and you don't want to do it, it's going to be up to the seller whether they want to give it to you or not. And likelihood is they're not. They're going to want to keep that money because you wasted a month or 45 days of their time of being able to sell it, and now you're deciding to back out of it. So that's earnest money. The next step, step 8, is getting a home inspection, which is critical in this real estate industry. You've got to get a home inspection. Good gosh, even in a brand new house. I've never had a house inspected and not have things wrong. They're built by human hands and they're built on a moving earth. There's just things that happen. Most of it's wear and tear you don't have to worry about, but I promise you, I will help you through it. The inspector that I use, he's going to find everything. He finds, well, say everything, but he's going to find a lot of things, and he's going to, in some ways, may scare you, but promise you, we'll walk through this in person and you will get to see what it is that you need to do and what you could probably just see as deferred maintenance that you can get to at a later time. Because this is a house and there will be things to do. You're always going to have things to do. And even though you might get everything fixed on this transaction, the next time when you sell it, there's still going to be stuff that pops up. So hang with me. We'll get through it. Unless the house is falling down, everything's fixable. Step 9, getting the appraisal. This is another step of the transaction that is you are doing a loan product, so it's going to be a mandatory part of it. This is a win-win side for the buyers, really, because if it appraises for over the asking price or the offer price, then you're into instant equity. They don't even find out, and you just nothing happens in change. You just have $10,000 in equity because it appraised for $10,000 over. Now, in the case it appraised for $10,000 less, now the seller has to make a decision whether they want to come down $10,000. They want to ask you for money that I already know you don't have. So then they back to choice A, or walk away from the deal. And I'll tell you, in most cases, they come down in price. So that's not always guaranteed. It's a negotiation piece. But if you don't have the money and they want to sell the house, they really don't have much of a choice. They priced it wrong. We offered at the what they priced because that's what they said they wanted, and now their price was wrong, and the appraiser's proven that. So likelihood is you'll get it for less money. So when, like I said, either you get equity or you get a cheaper house. Wonderful deal. And then the final part, step 10, is we get to hand off keys at the closing celebration. And we will be excited to do that with you. I just can't wait to work through this transaction with you. That's my 10-step process. In the middle here, you're going to find some references that you can call during the transaction, different stages, and there are key people that we work with. But other than that, do you have any questions for me as far as the process goes right now? And remember, you'll have this book. You get to take it home with you. And you're going to get to look at that. And again, between me and my transaction coordinator, you're always going to know where you're at. We communicate with you all the time. That's a promise I give you. All right. No more questions? Well, we're going to move into the next section and we're going to go through these documents so you have an understanding of that. And with that, you have your next video. Go ahead and check it out.